Yo pensngau tho ya ki khynnah skur hajrong kamon uman kiwa pengkrek ya ide la jia wan iwan ibor pensi penpra karam au namo ka natural disaster kamte ka arpau santri uni ubanai ni liang ka chnat home guard and civil defense West Giant Hill district dei lang wa ka chnat ichai iki adalai e sikai ya ki khynnah skur wa ki sikai ka skur government girls high secondary school juai dei wa pyndur wa khmi kam idak wa khmi de pengki de ka siren he wa borok ki khynnah skur de yami ki chalai pchem ka skur wei hadin wa nei liang ki sikai chem ki wa em ki khynnah wa wer kam te smart da pha ya ki khynnah wa dep cha sikai wa lithu ya ki wa mynsoo na ki kam raskur wei wa lira ya ki chai thaw wa de pengkre halai yo ki nei benta isumar first aid Chua ini hakilang tebian wa pelai deka principal ke skur ke doktor wa isa sumer demle isikai wa penyu deka chnat civil defense hajrong kamon wa yarap ya kibru wa mynsoo haki rukom wa pher kat wa liang doktor Arvin Khongla district nodal officer woman le district nodal officer and disaster management West Giant Hill district de eu ibatai hajrong iyi mud disaster de wa ong mud du ye chlai idini or khandau tangwa kan thup ko ya ki wa bon ki jajia Yong iwan ijia wa wanra ye mynsoo ija beru ijet ipra ki yung kisem ki jaj wachana watei ha iwan ipor to ka disaster we wat ki jaj bam le ki wa manbi ne wanra ye kjut chitom le to ka disaster hi ne liang ka chnat civil defense de mikmat da upi kharbuli sub inspector wa ki wide ki wa kre
When we speak of disasters, it means a lot of things. It doesn't mean only earthquake, it doesn't mean only fire, it doesn't mean only landslide, but when we are to prepare a disaster plan or we are to train you on disaster, we have to think of all the possible hazards which can happen, which can cause injuries, which can cause harm, which can lead to loss of life or destruction of properties in your context, in your school or in our communities. So, even in case, for example, a simple example here, whether the children are eating the food they got from home or they used to eat outside, but a very simple example I can give you. Suppose there is one shop outside of the school, and if you happen to eat there, suppose the food is not good in quality, and there are some germs in that food. So many of you in one class, example 30, 40 students will consume that food in one shop, and if the hygiene is not good, you may get food poisoning. So that is also a disaster. So when we think of disaster, we should not only think that fire, earthquake, or landslide, or those things which are called natural disasters, but any situation which can cause harm to you, which can bring suffering, disease, or loss of life, or hospitalization, those are called disasters. Example, many of you, if you get that food poisoning, many of you will suffer diarrhea, will have vomiting, and many of you will have to be hospitalized. So that is a major disaster. And when you come to our hospital, we will not be able to accompany all of you, perhaps, or we will have no beds in our institution, in our district hospitals, ACPAC, to accompany all of you students. So that is a very simple example of disasters. As of today, we are doing the disasters on one of the scenario as provided by the Madam Principal. We'll be teaching you a simple steps of how to teach you how to do the first aid in your own schools. Example, if major earthquake, as we know, our state Meghalaya is one of the high zone 5 seismic zone, which is very prone to earthquake. And if an earthquake struck, it will not only choose to struck here in your school, it may struck other schools, other institutions, other hostels, other government offices, and it will be a huge calamity, huge disasters. Everyone will be running here and there. So we need to prepare ourselves how to handle ourselves in that situation. If an earthquake struck in the entire Jowai region, West Giant Hill region, or in our state, even our hospitals are not prone to earthquake. We may be, our institution, if if you come to our hostel, there is no more hospitals. So we need this kind of training, disaster management training, a very important part, which the government of India has taken very seriously, considering that lots of disasters are happening every day, as we can see in our in the news channels or in the social media here and there. So the basic steps of first aid